comment regarding an item that may not be on the agenda. Yes, Nick Lapis, how are you, my friend? Microphone's coming your way.
Hi, good morning. Nick Lapis with Californians Against Waste. Quick question about the 1383 rulemaking. What is the timeline for the economic analysis and the draft regs to be released? I think we were waiting for it for the past couple of months.
So the economic analysis is going through the last phases of review. I don't know if we have a firm date by which it will be publicly available.
It was transmitted to Department of Finance yesterday. They have 10 days minimum before they can, then they may post it within that time frame. Maximum of 10 days. And then, then there's a 30-day, I'm sorry, Nick, couldn't hear you.
No, go ahead.
There's a 30-day comment period after that.
Public comment period.
Well, it's concurrent.
Thank you.
Sorry. The comment period is concurrent. So it's, Finance has 10 days to post it and 30 days to comment. So.
Does that answer your question, Nick? Great. Chuck, do you have a question?
The 30-day comment period is to DOF then or to you? Okay, thanks.
Very good. Thank you both for your questions. All right, any other items? Seeing none, I think we're going to launch right into the annual report information item.
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, we have the first item on today's agenda is the an informational item on the 2017 CARE Annual Report. I think rather than providing any introductory remarks, am I on? Are you going to do first? I've been on vacation, so I didn't know who was going first. I thought Fareed was going to be first.
Yeah, vacation. Yeah.
My apologies.
Yes.
So we're just going to launch right into it with Georgianne.
So well in rehearsal.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Georgianne Turner, and I'm from the enforcement branch, and we received the annual report for 2017 for CARE, and this is a little unusual circumstance, so I wanted to set a little bit of context before I hand it over to Fareed. As many of you know, I can't operate this thing right. There we go. As many of you know, we don't have, for 2017, we did not have an approved plan that CARE was operating under. So during this time, the department put forth an enforcement plan which suspended enforcement on manufacturers if certain conditions were met. And one of those conditions was that manufacturers would have to retain their good standing with CARE, including submitting assessments and so forth. The second part of that was CARE would have to continue carrying out its plan, its 2011 and 2016 plan, including providing incentives, payments, and so forth. As part of their effort to carry out the conditions of the enforcement plan, they submitted the annual report on September 1, 2017. And the department is looking at this submittal as a show of good faith effort by CARE to continuously operate under the old plan as the enforcement plan had asked for. However, without a plan, the department can't really make a determination relative to CARE's compliance on statutory obligations or whether they are meeting the plan elements. So in that regard, we will not be doing that today. We will be providing an informational item, and Frida will be providing a nice analysis of CARE's performance and how it compares to the program performance metrics of the 2016 annual report. I want to quickly note, though, before I hand it over to Fareed, is that it should be noted that CARE did submit a 2018-2022 plan on August 17, 2018, and this submittal of the plan partially met the terms and conditions of the enforcement plan. Once the conditions of that approval are met by CARE and the submittal is made and approved by the department, and we have an approved plan, then the annual reports will be reviewed in the manner that they have been in the past, and they will include compliance with the statute as well as plan elements. So I just wanted to clarify that if there was any confusion. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Freed.
Thanks, George. Good morning. I'm Fareed Fairhead. I work on the carpet program in the statewide technical and analytical resources branch. Before I talk about the comparison of the performance of the CARES California Carpet Stewardship Program, I'd like to take a few minutes to give you a brief big picture description of how this program has evolved. This program has been in operation for over 7 years. And during this time, CARE has increased the assessment from 5 cents per square yard to 25 cents per square yard, and it will be further increased to 35 cents per square yard effective January 1st, 2019. CARE added subsidies and instituted a grant program to increase the recycling of post-consumer carpet. The program faced a number of challenges during this time. For example, the closure of evergreen nylon and polyester depolymerization plant in Ringgold, Georgia, the closure of Carpet Solution in Carson, California. Carpet Solution was a major carpet recycler. And the collection convenience for consumers in each county still have some challenges. However, there appears to be some promising activities recently in each to increase the recycling of post-consumer carpet, such as the opening of a carpet recycling plant in Lincoln, California, and the proposed opening of a recycling plant, XT Green and Rancho Cucamonga, using a new wet processing technology, and also the proposed opening of a nylon 6 carpet recycling plant by Aquafil, an Italian-based company in Woodland, California. In the next few slides, I will compare the performance of CARES program in 2016 and 17 using selected metrics such as recycling rate, energy recovery, source reduction, recyclability, reuse, diversion, drop-off sites, marketing, education, and outreach. I will briefly talk about each metric. CARE defines recycling rate as the proportion of carpet discards that is converted into recycling output. And recycling output is considered as a sum of reuse and material that results from industry-recognized processes such as shearing, shredding, hammer milling, depolymerization. The chart illustrates the comparison of recycling rate in 2016 and 17 to the goal in 2016 and the baseline in 2011 and 12. The recycling rate in 2017 was 14% compared to 11% in 2016. That's an increase of 27%. However, the goal for 2016, this is the CARES previous plan, which ended, on December 31st, 2016 was 16%. And the baseline that started the program was 8%. The different methods used to recover energy under this program are carpet as an alternative fuel, cement kiln, and waste to energy. The chart illustrates the use of carpet to obtain energy in 2017 and 16. In 2017, CAF, cement kiln, and waste to energy they were lower compared to 2016. For example, 9.8 million pounds of carpet was used for waste to energy in 2017 compared to 17.5 million pounds of carpet used in 2016. That's a reduction of 44%. CARE paid subsidies for CAF and kiln, but did not pay any subsidies for waste to energy. And effective January 1st of 2018, they have discontinued paying subsidies for CAF and kiln. Continuing the comparison metrics for source reduction, CARE used the average weight of carpet as its primary metric. In 2016, the average weight increased from 4.2 pounds per square yard to 4.39 pounds per square yard. CARE indicated the reason for this increase is not known. The factors that may have contributed to this increase include a continued shift from broadloom carpet to tile carpet. Tiles are heavier than broadloom carpets. And possibly a shift away from lower weight builder grade carpet to vinyl flooring, thus reducing the volume of lighter grade carpet. In 2017, the average weight remained at 4.39 pounds per square yard. For measuring recyclability, CARE used yield as its primary metric. Yield is determined as the percentage of gross collection that's converted to recycle output. So yield for 2017 was 48% of gross collection compared to 35% for 2016. That's an increase of 37%. Reuse continues to be a very small percentage of discard, less than 0.3%. In 2017, 414,000 pounds of post-consumer carpet was reused compared to 926,000 pounds in 2016, a decrease of 55%. Diversion. CARE determines reported diversion as a sum of reuse, tile recycled, fiber depolymerization, calcium carbonate, CAF, kiln, waste to energy, exports. The reported diversion for 2017 was 62 million. For 2016, it was 61 million, an increase of 2%. Reported diversion constitutes 18% of carpet discards. With the enactment of AB 1158, diversion as a performance goal was eliminated effective January 1, 2018. CARE-supported drop-off sites, also called public drop-off sites, are generally placed at traditional disposal locations such as landfill, transfer stations, material recovery facilities, or construction and demolition recovery facilities. In 2017, there were 44 CARE drop-off sites serving 41 counties, compared to 33 CARE drop-off sites serving 33 counties in 2016. There were 17 counties without drop-off site in 2017. CARE expanded its marketing, education, and outreach efforts and funding in 2016 and 17, taking a number of actions to increase the education and outreach, especially to retailers. The budget for marketing and outreach communication was increased from $630,000 to $785,000 in 2017, an increase of about 25%. However, it's not clear how CARE is measuring the effectiveness of its education and outreach activities and how CARE would tie these activities to improvement in operational performance. CARE has stated in its 2017 annual report that there are efforts to explore ways to tie the education and outreach activities to operational performance, but they have not clarified what type of efforts have been undertaken thus far. This table summarizes the comparison of metrics that I discussed so far. CARE submitted its draft 2017 annual report to the California Carpet Advisory Committee for review and comments. The advisory committee reviewed and offered comments and recommendations. For example, the advisory committee offered a comment about 16 counties that still have no carpet collection sites, or recommended clarification of procedures and follow-up for grant recipients. CARE responded to the advisory committee comments and recommendations, and it incorporated its recommendation in its final 2017 annual report. The advisory committee full comments and recommendations, and as well as these slides, are posted on our website. That concludes my presentation. Thank you. And are there any questions?
Thanks, Fareed. Got a hand in the back there. And I see we have a couple. We'll get you a microphone.
Oh, there you are.
Roberta.
Well, I don't so much have a question as a comment. First of all, thank you for inviting everyone in this wonderful presentation. I understand that there was no determination, but my name is Joanne. I am the Special Projects Manager at California Product Stewardship Council. I'm also the Vice Chair of the Advisory Committee, and we have received the additional Chapter 0. And under my cursory review, I do think there are things missing. So I wanted to have this opportunity to invite everyone who cares about this topic to join us with the advisory committee. We have a meeting next Tuesday, the 27th. If you would like to join us, you can register on the CalRecycle website, and we would just love as much participation as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne. Other comments? I see we have JC and Brennan here. Do you guys have any comments? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Fareed. Again, that was an informational item, and we'll look forward to the next step in the carpet program.
Very good. Thank you, Howard. Sorry. So you can't see behind this dais here, but there's cabling everywhere, and it's all coiled up. Looks like that scene out of Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indy goes into the pyramid, and there are snakes everywhere. That's what it feels like. Well, and this chair is really awkward, and I'm afraid to touch any of the buttons that'll like eject me forward. And why did it have to be cables, Jack? Anything but cables. Okay, so working through my own anxieties, not very well, clearly. So with that, going to turn it to Adam in just a moment. But before I hand it off to you, Adam, I promised George Doncourt that I would publicly embarrass him. And so I'm going to do that. George is retiring after, remind me, George, how many years? 30 plus. I love how vague that is. 30 something. Most of you may know George. He's worked in the Division of Recycling for quite a while, and he is, and I mean this sincerely, he's an institution within that division. at a moment like this, it's important to reflect. And, as you retire and open up this next exciting chapter in your life, it's a good moment to reflect and talk about your success. You've always struck me as a problem solver, someone who's been faced with a challenge within the division, regardless of what the issue is. Grocers, working with city councils, helping them explain their role and their responsibility within the program. And you do so positively. You grind through it. There's no quit in you. There's never like, oh, no, this is never gonna happen. You find a way, and you work collaboratively, motivatingly with your team to make that happen. Because of that, you're trusted by the executive staff, and as importantly, you are trusted by the people that work for you, and you are trusted by the external stakeholders. You are a presence in this program. You are a presence within the industry. And I've been extraordinarily grateful to get to know you. It's important, too, to take stock of how you've been successful with your family. I had a great conversation just a couple weeks back, and the wonderful things that your children are doing, the ambitious and exciting careers that they are embarking upon because of who you are as a man, who you are as a father, giving them the opportunity to express themselves and be who they want to be. And that's what it is to be successful. And you've done that. And I'm just grateful for knowing you. And so as I thought about this, I was reminded of this quote by Henry David Thoreau. And it's the only way to tell the truth is to speak with kindness. Only the words of a loving person can be heard. When I read that, I immediately thought of you, George, and just who you are and what you mean to this organization. I will miss you, but I celebrate your success and I celebrate your career. Come on up.
Thank you, Ken. I just look at Christina. My son went to school with her. So I've been here for a long time. And I enjoyed working for the Division of Recycling. That's why I stayed at the same division for 30 years. I want to say thank you, everyone that helped make my career the success that it's been. I learned a lot from everyone that I worked with, from the executives down to student assistants that have been backbone of this program. Thank you, and I appreciate what you do. And I'm not saying goodbye, I'm just saying I'll be around. Thank you.
Thanks, George. We've previously given George a plaque and a recognition, but I thought it was important to do this here.
I would just add, George, that Ken, as usual, has captured things so well with his words. But I just wanted to personally also tell you how much I appreciated working with you. And I can't count the number of meetings where we've worked through hard issues, and you've managed to come through every one of those meetings, finding a way to solve things without ever saying an unkind word about anybody. And I really respect that about you, and we're going to miss you around here.
Adam, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Well, thanks. I guess I'll talk about George too.
Please.
No, I just really appreciate everything that George has done for the division. It's been a real pleasure working with him. He, along with Mike Miller and John Halligan and I, were kind of a team for like 10 years? And there's been a lot of trust and good friendship, and we're going to miss having you around. Thanks. That being said, let's talk about the quarterly fund balance report. I know you're all dying to hear about that. So we have 3 of them that are in the pipeline for publication. Can't promise exactly when they'll be published, but trust me, it'll be as soon as possible. What I can say about what those reports lay out is that the trend continues to be slight growth in beverage sales. Returns are basically flat, which is resulting in a growth in the balance in the fund. And so in the foreseeable future, we have a surplus rather than a deficit, and no proportional reductions or budget cuts in the forecastable future. And that's about all I have to say about that. And now I will hand things off to Mike Miller, who has several things to report on.
Good morning. Good morning. So I'm going to start off with George too. This coming up April will be my 30th year. And I remember, and I said this in his going away party, as I remember being at P Street. They didn't really have offices, so they put us in the closet. And literally there